Are you living out something negative that's been spoken over you?
Yeah, like right now, I'm I have a situation where um you know you work with someone and they get off on making things unpleasant. It's their power. They're weak, and they would. It's not like they can physically do anything in this world, especially to me. But they are in a position of power, and they try to make things as uncomfortable as possible. And I have difficulty processing that. There's a part of me that wants to get angry. There's a part of me that wants to beat the hell out of them. There's a part of me, that it's just like, hey, I should tell your wife that you're doing this or that behind her back. Just to be. There's certain things like, and I have 1,000 different thoughts that go through my head. But end of the day, I'm I'm resigned to the fact that I have to just let this pass. But most definitely, um, I empathize with anyone because there's a lot of us that run into this. We are stuck in situations, be it our job or family or whatever, that these people are just miserable, unhappy people. They don't get off on happiness. They get off on power. They get off on misery. They get off on dysfunction. And we have to strive to do our best to let these things pass.
Yes, sir. What's happening, y'all? Welcome to Hustle and Heart, where we confront hard issues like life after prison, addiction, and failure. Here to give you all the jewels you need to treasure your life and to motivate you to go after the life you want. I'm your host, William Hustle, and I'm here with my big bro, Big Pat.
Good to be here.
And we're continuing this Get It Out series. And on this episode, we'll be talking about staying away from people who play with your mind. Let's get it, man.
Yeah, man, this topic just really, really hits home right now. We deal with people in our everyday lives that sometimes we can't avoid, whether it be a boss, sometimes the friends or family, and it could even be a relationship. But end of the day, we owe it to ourselves to keep a healthy atmosphere and healthy boundaries. So, it's on us in a way that these outside these outside circumstances, and these outside people or places, we ultimately have the choice on how deep we want to dive or get into that pool of negativity, and oftentimes their ability to affect us or not affect us. That's on us. It's easier said than done, and like I said, I'm going through this right now where, being at a place where you have someone that's very aggressive, and oftentimes it just seems like their main goal is to see how much misery or just discomfort they can cause. People get off on that. It's their power, and part of that, although sometimes, like I said, you can't avoid it, we can most definitely control how we react to it.
Most definite. In my universe, understand my universe. When it comes to the mind, there in my universe, and you have to create your own universe. But either I'm gonna live and allow myself to be in a position mentally to allow someone to play with my mind, or I am going to have control every day over my mind in the state that my mind is going to operate that day. But that's the universe I'm trying to bring others into. No one can play with your mind if you're already playing with your own mind and challenging your own mind and staying within your own mind and focus on your own goal. It's a hard place and a hard space to get to. But the thing is, you just have to make a choice to get to that space, man. Let's loosen the mood up a little bit before we get started. You know, get a little something going, get our little juices going a little bit. Yeah, bro. So, man, this topic here can relate it in the business world and your personal life. This is related in so many areas of your life because it's dealing with your brain. Once again, in my world, you're either going to live by your mind controlling your everyday actions, or you're going to live by your emotions controlling your everyday actions. Before we jump into it, let's get our quote of the day.
Quote of the day. Every second we choose to nourish ourselves in a way that supports or depletes our lives. We can dwell on the past or embrace each new day with hope and a positive attitude. We can become hardened by life and live in perpetual misery, or we can love that we've made it through some rough times and know the best is yet to come. Today, remember that the greatest gift we have is that whatever happens in our lives, good or bad, we get to choose how we react to it. We can make the best of it, or we can make the worst of it. The choice will always be ours. Love yourself, live in the moment, and enjoy this beautiful day.
Whole thing with that, you can make the best of it, or you can make the worst of it. People who play mind games want to weaken, confuse, and manipulate and hurt you. Intentionally, man. That's part of a mind game. Those who intentionally knowing, it's no different than doing right. They are intentionally knowing what they are about to try to accomplish on someone else. And that's not a mistake. It's a choice because they're choosing to try and manipulate or hurt that person or however in some type of way that's harmful to someone else. How you feel about that?
Yeah, that's the world we live in. There's people that just thrive on bringing misery into other people's lives, on to making people uncomfortable, they want everyone to be in their world, and that's what they get off on. Our power is that, and again, this is easier said than done because
Yes,
I
sir.
get affected by this all the time. But our power is that we don't have to react to it. So,
And it's hard,
very,
but it's a choice.
absolutely.
Whenever you're in their company, and you feel smaller than who you really are, their words are cutting you down. And this is why people turn to drugs, alcohol, crime, because they're not training and taking control of their mind and their life. Your thought on that?
Being uncomfortable and living in perpetual pain or misery or discomfort is the hardest thing to do. You have an outlet with drugs and alcohol that numbs that discomfort. The thing that you get out of it, though, is that once that drug or alcohol is worn off, those feelings are still there. You're not washing them away. If anything, you're just burying them well under the surface, and then they kind of root, and they can infect you. So again, our goal is to just be mindful of the the energy that we're allowing to affect us. Because if you play a part in that energy, then you more than likely will also become that. You'll
Yes, sir.
become that negativity. You'll become, and then at the end, then you're not yourself. You're whatever that stimulus. If it's a person, if it's a boss, it's whoever. You're whatever they're manipulating you to be.
You get
And
captured or you take control. There's no in between.
sometimes people weaponize their words to cause major damage. We have to be careful of taking that kind of abuse from anyone at work or at home. Will, what kind of word curses, negative energy have you experienced at your work or just the environment?
Um, I've experienced a lot. I've experienced from. I see everything positive. My office hours are my office hours. I don't allow anything to interrupt what I have to do when we are at work. But because of my energy, I've experienced negative, toward me or not being understood. I've had clients who, because of the color of my skin, not want to work with me. I've had people be intimidated by me because I don't come to work to play games. Um, I always want to make friends, but that is not why I'm there. So I experience a lot of things because of who I am and how I think and how I move. Um, have you ever used your words to purposely hurt someone?
I'm sure I have.
But something that comes to your attention, like if I'm using words to hurt someone, I know I am. I am intentionally trying to hurt them because I feel like they tried or they have hurt me in some type of way. So when I'm bringing that negative energy, I'm really trying to bring it. That's why I try to stay away from it because I bring it the same way I try and stay away from it as much as possible.
Yeah, there's people in my own family that it's hard for me to be around.
Yes, sir.
I have to. I've had to block people because as much love as I try to send them, it falls into a huge open pit, and you can start just really depleting yourself to a point to where you've lost your peace.
Yes, sir.
Because now you're so entrenched in this dysfunction and drama that these people bring to the table, and that's the only energy they know how to bring. So it's fortunate that we have the ability to disconnect. But the on the other side of that coin, the unfortunate thing is that sometimes we just have to love people from afar.
Yes, sir.
You can tell someone is being emotionally abused when they withdraw from conversation or get really silent. Um, yeah, you don't interact with pain and discomfort. It makes you go inward. It makes you not want to be extroverted and jovial and open, and it makes you more defensive. When we're more defensive, we shell up. We get inside our shell. We get our protective barrier, and the last thing you're wanting to do is participate in more pain and dysfunction. You're wanting to get out of that situation as fast as possible. It's uncomfortable, and none of us want to be there or coexist there. So most definitely, when you're in the middle of any abusive or negative or just dysfunctional situation, it's a common thing to want to go back within, go inward. Words hurt. Oftentimes it begins with our parents and close family members. Yeah, we're born into this world with innocence. We all want to be, astronaut firemen, or we're going to rule the world. We're going to do this. When
Yes,
we're
sir.
kids, we have an innocence to us. That innocence is taken from us at some point. You get to see You know,
And here,
out, you get to see and hear out, you know, parents fighting. You get divorced at a young age. You see an alcoholic father. You see
things on the
you,
street,
you see
in the environment.
an abusive step parent. There's all this stuff that dramatically affects our world, and you know, we go from being these loving, innocent kids to traumatized in a way because you have to, you not only have to live with these things, but you also have to learn to process. And we don't have the tools when we're adolescents to really process these things. They, it's like, you know, you're standing on the moon. You're on uncharted territory, and you don't know not only how to live but how to function because oh my God, is this stuff going to happen again? Am I going to get abused again? Am I going to have these words said to me again? And it gives you anxiety. It gives you you know, such a sense of discomfort that you know, at times life becomes a very bitter pill to swallow, especially when you're a child and you have to experience this.
Yes, sir. When someone speaks over you, like you'll never be anything, you're just like your daddy, no one cares about you, it can do some major damage to the heart and mind of a person. And and these are facts, but the thing about facts is they always have two sides to them. A person can be damaged, but a person can change that damage if they address the issues that has damaged them at whatever point in time in their life. And this is the reason, once again, it'll be said on multiple episodes, get it out, it's here. This is the reason we're working toward going live. This is the reason we're putting this information out here so others can get it out and learn to address and take control of their lives. Big Pat, how many kids have you known or seen damaged by the words of others?
I mean, myself, siblings, close friends, co-workers. Yeah, we live in at times a very negative society. These things that, again, nobody just wants to be negative to somebody, but we're taught, you're imprinted on. You get an abusive parent, or you get a very verbally abusive parent, or just peer, friend, family member. These things become imprinted on us, and what we see, we do. Monkey see, monkey do. You start to then recycle this negativity. You recycle this abusiveness. The people that we most despise in this world and say we're never going to be like, psychologically, it's crazy because we actually start to become these people. You know, I said I was never going to be a drinker, and not my kids were going to have the perfect upbringing, and lo and behold, you know, I become an alcoholic too. I repeat some of the same behaviors that were I experienced, some of the most traumatic experiences, and then I then become the one that's dishing this out. So again, it's really crazy how life works sometimes because we inadvertently become those things that, you know, we strive not to become. Will, what's been said to you as a kid that destroyed your self-esteem?
Uh, I didn't have that experience where people really said things to me negative about things that I couldn't do. And if a teacher or someone has, it wasn't important where it affected me. Um, my downfall has always been just doing whatever I chose to do, and I've always owned it. So I don't have any stories about someone else that saying or doing something to me to make me withdraw or make decisions that I made? Are you living out something negative that's been spoken over you?
Yeah, like right now, I'm I have a situation where, um, you know, you work with someone and they get off on making things unpleasant. It's their power. They're weak, and they would. It's not like they can physically do anything in this world, especially to me, but they are in a position of power and they try to make things as uncomfortable as possible. And I have difficulty processing that. There's a part of me that wants to get angry. There's a part of me that wants to beat the hell out of them. There's a part of me, that it's just like, hey, I should tell your wife that, you're doing this or that behind her back. Just to be, there's certain things like, and I have 1,000 different thoughts that go through my head. But end of the day, I'm resigned to the fact that I have to just let this pass. But most definitely, I empathize with anyone because there's a lot of us that run into this. We are stuck in situations, be it our job or family or whatever, that these people are just miserable, unhappy people. They don't get off on happiness. They get off on power. They get off on misery. They get off on dysfunction. And we have to strive to do our best to let these things pass.
Yes, sir.
Will, have you noticed that you repeat negative words in your head even when you don't mean to?
Yes. When someone when someone comes at me a certain way or someone disrespects me in a certain way, the way I keep myself at my level that I need to stay in is I say the things in my head that I will want to say back to them because I know that I go to other levels and I can't allow myself to go to other levels. So me being mad at someone in my head is better than me being mad verbally or physically with someone because it's, yeah. I make it an option every day to try not to disrespect anyone. I try everything I can to encourage before I discourage. I try everything to respect before I disrespect. And so, yeah, I hurt a lot of people in my head with my words at times, but it's better than me letting it out to them. That's something that is big for me. Even with my wife, it's things that I say in my head that's better than me saying to her verbally. Can you identify with people who need major help after coming out of a verbally abusive relationship or job?
Yes, absolutely. I can empathize with you because you find it hard to trust. You find it hard to open up. You find it hard to really be yourself and stay in your peace because you're always waiting for that hammer to fall. You're waiting for that. What's the next thing that's going to happen? I've been living with this now, so you've become so accustomed to this negative and destructive situation that you automatically assume that all situations are going to end up this way. You automatically assume that this is the norm, and it is not the norm.
Yes, sir.
The norm is your peace, your love, and always being mindful that these negative things are going to continue to come at us, but we do not have to let them sink in. We can, keep our armor on and just let them pass.
And you have to fight for your peace.
You do.
You have to get it out. When people purposely hurt you with their words, you can fire back with repeating positive words about yourself. It's about you. It's about your sanity. No one has the power to speak lies and confusion into your life. You can hold on to positive thoughts you have about yourself by living them out loud. Don't let negative words and people keep you from success, from your peace. Your destiny is great. If you've dreamed it, you can have it. No one has the right to take that away from you. If your words can kill, they can also heal. One peace, one love. Great show today, bro.
Yeah, man. Glad we got this one in.
You have to be one way without emotions. Then you have to be at times a way where you have to deal with emotions. But it's a time for every aspect of who you are. Like, I'm losing if during my office hours, I'm allowing myself to operate emotionally and not mentally. And then when I need to be compassionate, listening to my mom or my wife or something, me trying to operate mentally and not emotionally.
Right.
But it's possible. You see me do it. You joke about me being able to do that at times, but it's like, this is what we have to be.
Right.
Or we'll find ourselves at a mental space that not everything needs to be said. So before I end this show, big bro, let the people know something that they can do. And I want to hit you with this because I don't want you to have to go and research anything. If there's one thing that a person can do to not allow someone else to say something to affect them and it destroys their days, or life.
Detachment. You don't have to be rooted in to every aspect of your life. A job is a job. It's there to make you money, but the things that happen at that job don't have to run your whole life, because we're all going to have crazy work environments. We could have crazy family lives. We could have, but at the end of the day, detachment, being able to keep your peace, protect yourself from these things, and having a healthy boundaries. That's the best advice I can give you. If something is bothering you to a point, you have to talk about it. You have to get that out. And sometimes you have to confront people. You have to talk to them and let them know, like, this is not okay. This is, you continuing to act this way is going to, I'm going to have to disengage. It's counterproductive in my life. And nobody said that you have to stay in a bad situation. There's no rule of life that just because it pays the bills, there's another job that could pay the bills, and you'll find your peace and you'll be happy. So there's a huge, huge difference in, where you work, that place's ability to dictate how you live or what your peace of mind is, and if you're going to allow that negativity to live with you day in and day out. So change is a good thing, and we have to strive that don't become comfortable in uncomfortable situations. That's the biggest thing in the world. Don't become comfortable in uncomfortable situations, because then you're selling yourself short. So
you're either gonna allow your emotions to control you at all times, or you're gonna allow your brain to be rational at times when needed.
Right.
You've been listening to Hustle and Heart, where we confront hard issues like life after prison, addiction, and failures. Here to give you all the jewels you need to treasure your life and motivate you to go after the life you want. I'm your host, William Hustle, and if you like what you've heard, feel free to subscribe and share. You can head over to William Lyles today to stay connected. If you'd like to be a part of our conversation as one of our callers, DM me or Big Pat Hamill. For more information, remember that when you know who you are, you can be free anywhere. 1.